Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess named Kylah. Kylah was kind, caring, and always had a smile on her face. She loved spending time in her garden, surrounded by colorful flowers, singing birds, and fluttering butterflies. One day, while she was tending to her garden, Kylah spotted a majestic creature with a horn on its forehead, grazing on the lush grass. It was a unicorn named Cody, and he was the most beautiful creature Kylah had ever seen. Kylah walked towards the unicorn, and as she got closer, Cody raised his head and looked at her with his big, kind eyes. Kylah felt an instant connection with Cody, and she knew that they were going to be the best of friends. From that day onwards, Kylah and Cody spent every day together. They went on long walks, explored the kingdom, and played together in the garden. Cody was always by Kylah's side, and she felt safe and protected with him around. One day, a messenger arrived at the castle with grave news. The kingdom was in peril, and only a magical flower called the star bloom could save it. The flower was said to be located in a far-off land, and only a brave and pure-hearted person could retrieve it. Kylah knew that she had to do something to save her kingdom. She decided to go on a quest to find the star bloom, and Cody agreed to accompany her. The journey was long and treacherous, and they faced many challenges along the way. They crossed rivers, climbed mountains, and trekked through dense forests. But Kylah and Cody were determined to find the star bloom, and they pushed on despite the hardships. As they reached the outskirts of the dark forest, an evil sorcerer appeared before them. He was a wicked man with long black hair and piercing eyes. He was determined to stop her from finding the star bloom. The sorcerer raised his wand, and dark clouds formed in the sky. A fierce storm raged, and Kylah and Cody were tossed around by the wind and rain. Lightning bolts struck the ground, and the trees shook with fear. But Kylah and Cody were not ones to back down from a challenge. They stood their ground, and Kylah drew her sword. She pointed it at the sorcerer and shouted, "We will not let you stop us from saving our kingdom. We have the strength and courage to overcome your dark magic." The sorcerer laughed and muttered an incantation. The ground shook, and the trees around them came alive, their branches twisting into grotesque shapes. Kylah and Cody were surrounded by the twisted trees, unable to move. The sorcerer smirked and said, "You are no match for my magic. Give up now, and I might spare your lives." Kylah looked at Cody, and he looked back at her with a determined expression. They knew that they couldn't give up, not when their kingdom was in danger. Kylah closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She concentrated all her energy and summoned the power of the star bloom. A bright light shone around her, and the twisted trees began to unravel. Cody joined in, and he used his magical powers to summon a powerful gust of wind that swept the sorcerer off his feet. Kylah and Cody had defeated the sorcerer's dark magic, and they were free to continue their journey. They made their way through the dark forest, and at last, they saw a clearing up ahead. In the center of the clearing, there stood a beautiful flower with shining petals. It was the star bloom, the flower that could save their kingdom. Kylah and Cody approached the flower, and Kylah carefully plucked it from its stem. The flower glowed in her hand, and Kylah knew that it was the key to their kingdom's salvation. They made their way back to the castle, and Kylah presented the star bloom to the king. The king was overjoyed, and he ordered for the flower to be used to heal the land. The star bloom's magical powers worked wonders, and soon the kingdom was restored to its former glory. The people rejoiced, and Kylah and Cody were hailed as heroes. From that day onwards, Kylah and Cody were known as the princess and the unicorn who saved the kingdom. They continued to go on adventures together, but nothing was as important as the quest that had saved their home. And whenever Kylah looked at Cody, she knew that she had found a true friend, one who would always be by her side, no matter what. The end.